The Mines of Spain is a 1,387-acre state-owned preserve that hugs the Mississippi River just south of the city of Dubuque. Named for the lead mining that begot the town, the hilly, bluff-ridden tract slipped into quiet disregard when mining ceased and the population turned its interest northward to the floodplain, which provided a better location for a frontier river town. After the mine rush, the Mines of Spain were first held as a privately owned sanctuary and then sold by the Herman Lott family to the state of Iowa in 1980. The attraction for today's visitors is the variety of ecosystems still intact. Throughout the tract, you will find savanna grasslands and prairie, bluff forests of oak and maple, and plenty of river shoreline. Quiet hikers may encounter flying squirrels, river otters, coyote, fox, and wild turkey. Bird watchers keep their binoculars focused on indigo buntings, bobolinks, cerulean warblers, pileated woodpeckers, and woodcocks. There are 214 birds that can be seen in the park, some common, while others are rare sightings like the northern bobwhite quail or the eastern screech owl. Each season has its attractions. In spring and fall, it's migratory birds. The springtime hiker should keep eyes open for woodland wildflowers such as hepatica, Dutchman's breeches, trilliums, and bloodroot. In winter, it's deer, wild turkeys, rock cliffs, and bald eagles. And in the summer, all the varieties of habitat plus turkey vultures along the river. Almost 400,000 visitors per year are attracted to the preserve's 5 main features: the river shoreline, the Horseshoe Bluff, the Catfish Creek Valley woodlands, the more recessed interior Catice Hollow, and the park's restored prairies. The Mines of Spain recreation area has 3 miles of shoreline along the Mississippi River, and except for the railroad, much of it remains as it was in historical times. The Mississippi has over 20 species of fish and 12 species of mussels, making it one of the most diverse aquatic ecosystems in North America. It is one of the 4 major migratory pathways for birds in North America, and in the spring and fall, over 100 different kinds of birds can be seen from its banks. Catfish Creek and its tributary Granger Creek wind through the north end of the park, providing a perfect place to canoe or kayak on a summer's day. Early in the morning and late in the day, one might sight a beaver girdling a tree or a kingfisher diving for a fish. Barred owls hunt the banks for small rodents, and in fall, sugar maples turn brilliant hues of orange and red. On the south end of the park, one can follow Catice Hollow past limestone bluffs to its termination at the Mississippi. This is a great spot to see the shy, pileated woodpecker. With over 50 mammal species and some 17 reptiles and amphibians calling the Mines of Spain home, you can spend a lot of time exploring the diversity of habitats. The Mines of Spain prairies were often marked by lone standing or small groves of bur oaks. These oak prairie hybrids were called oak savannas. In addition, the Mines of Spain was marked by small goat prairies on the many rounded bluff tops in the woodlands as well, where the soil was too thin for trees and the sun beat down hard. Big blue stem, growing 6 to 8 feet tall, is the predominant tall grass. Sometimes it's called turkey foot because that's what the seed head looks like. Indian grass at 4 to 8 feet tall spreads its seeds in a yellow feathery display. Cordgrass has leaves with pointed teeth and was sometimes called ripgut because it cut the bellies of horses as pioneers traveled across the prairies. Switchgrass is a shorter, wispier, hairy grass that grows in clumps of moist soil. The prairie wildflowers more deliberately attract the eye. The compass plant is a daisy with a thyroid disorder, reaching heights of 8 feet tall. The compass plant's lower leaves grow in a north-south pattern in order to avoid drying out in the summer sun. Everyone loves the black-eyed Susan, a daisy that's been in a barroom fight. Prairie coneflower's drooping petals look like they've just barely survived a wind tunnel blowing head-on. Prairie blazing star is a purple flower blooming in a downward spiral from the tip of a tall spike. There are some 85 varieties of wildflowers to be discovered at the Mines of Spain. But the real wonder occurred beneath the soil. Prairie plants put about 2/3 of their growth into root systems. A cubic meter of prairie soil might contain 25 miles of roots. At the Mississippi River's edge, Ordovician dolomite limestone lies exposed in cliffs and towers or beneath a lush but sometimes rocky, less soil. The bedrock formed beneath the shallow Paleozoic sea 450 million years ago. The sea was landlocked in an arid climate, its waters salty, briny, and thick, but teeming with Paleozoic life. Over time, dead shelled sea creatures piled up on the seafloor, pressed down by their own weight and cemented into a lime foundation. Later, the dolomite and limestone would crack along fissures, and into these cracks boiled hot, briny subterranean waters, which left behind veins of galena lead and zinc, and thus set in motion the future history of Dubuque. Sliced down through the rock of ages, the rock quarry lays bare the ancient seas of Iowa. Here swam, crawled, and clung the cephalopods, or Devonian squid, gastropods, Silurian sea snails with long, slimy, spiraling shells, Cambrian trilobites with their three-lobed shells practicing to become crabs and lobsters, and tubular algae whose fossils look like honeycomb or mud packed around them. When the algae died and dissolved, the mud remained, compact and pressed for 450 million years. The mud and shells of the rich shallow soup form limestone, a hard rock that carries water along and down through its fissures. On the quarry's rock face, 100 feet sheer, horizontal rows of tiny circular holes, miniature caves, offer a cutaway view of the water transportation system through the limestone. Horseshoe Bluff, steep-sided on all four sides, was once an island in the river waters swelled with glacial runoff. The Mississippi then washed around the western face of the bluff as well as the east. The stream bed of the Catfish Creek, too, once ambled to its south, evidenced by great clam beds left behind in the soil. Come experience the mines of Spain today. Visit the E.B. Lyons Interpretive Center. It has many exhibits portraying the park's history and natural wonders, as well as being a source of information on what to do in the park. Every year, thousands of school children are taught at programs in the park, and there are Sunday afternoon programs for everyone in the winter and summer. Every fall, experts from around the state of Iowa impart their knowledge at the Mines of Spain seminars. Tour the park by vehicle, but be sure to take a hike on one of the various foot trails that meander throughout the park. Over 14 miles of trail take you past archaeological sites, through different forested areas, prairie, and more. Each season holds new views and opportunities for you to enjoy the Mines of Spain recreation area.